came to us. What was it about this project that captured your imagination?
Well, I was a huge fan of Disney animated films like Robin Hood growing up, and we all talked years ago, this is about 5 years ago, we all said to John Lasseter, it's about time we did one of those films now in the 21st century. But John told us we had to make an animated film about animals like no one had ever seen. So we took about 2 years doing very intensive research into the animal world, and by looking at animals, we learned a lot about human beings. We started to learn about sociology and about groups that don't always get along, and this great opportunity to talk about bias and stereotype and discrimination came up, and it was awesome that Disney just embraced that, and they really supported us throughout the whole process.
And
Thank you.
I think it was, what captured my imagination about it was being able to take something from our childhoods that we like, those classic Disney films, to update them to the 21st century, and to really, really make it about something, that it's about bias, it's about discrimination and racism, and the damage that does to our society, and the damage of leading by fear, and to put it into a form that was not a polemic, that it was a piece of entertainment first, but had a strong core to it that gave the audience something to think about, both children and adults. That when I joined on with Byron and Clark, that was the thing that really, really got me charged up about this film.
That's great. And then this is a quick one. What are your plans after the Golden Globes?
Oh, Clark knows what.
Well, I think we'll go to a party or two maybe, right? We decided this might let us into a couple things and have a good time. This is a big night. We spent 5 years in a studio working with 800 artists to make a movie, and to have it get embraced by the world and have it be celebrated here tonight by the HFPA is a really unbelievable dream for the three of us. So we're going to enjoy tonight very much.
So thank you.
How you doing? Francisco Varela from Telemundo.
Hello.
What is your thoughts about global warming since you talk and since you make this movie, and how important it is for you now that this administration, the coming administration, is denying that is global warming going on?
Well, personally, it makes me sad. I think that it is something that a lot of scientists agree, that it is a real thing. And the fact that we have politicians that would deny that it is a real thing is scary to me, and it's frightening. But I think we're lucky to live in California, where our governor has said, well, we're still going to put that money towards studying global warming. So I'm very proud to live in a state that takes it seriously.
What was the reaction that you received from people who saw this as an allegory to racism in our country?
Well, it was very interesting because we went all around the world with the film, and when we were making it, it did take us about 5 years, and as we crafted the story, the world around us started to completely explode. Just these crazy examples of bias and fear-mongering were coming into the news daily, and it was something that we hadn't planned, but it made us all the more dedicated to making the movie get the message out in the right way. And no matter where we went in the world, whether it was Europe or Asia or South America, everyone saw something different in the film. But the fact that they all could find parts of that bias message to relate to help empower them, that was what was really reassuring to us. That was a reassuring moment that let us know that we had tried to craft the message in the right way.
And not only did we meet people around the world who were recognizing the allegory, as you say, of racism and discrimination, and the ugliness of human nature, but they also took away from it a great message of hope. That this is something. Our main character in the end didn't solve racism. She didn't cure discrimination. But the conclusion she comes to is that it's an inside job. It starts with the individual, and the people that we meet around the world really latched on to that message that there is hope for us.
Hi, I'm Nympha Rowetta from the Philippine Daily Inquirer. as you expect, I'd be asking about Josie Trinidad, the
Yeah.
co-head of story, and I wanted to ask what you think about her work.
Josie's incredible. You want to talk about? No, go ahead, Clark.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, Josie's an amazing woman who's really, she started about 6 years ago at Disney Animation, and now she worked on this film as a co-head of story, and she brings her own point of view to that room, which is really important. She's from the Philippines. She's a woman of color. So as we're making a movie that is both about a female protagonist, Judy Hopps, and a movie that's talking about bias in the world, she could bring that perspective into the story room, which is so key. And she's so incredibly talented. I think we all see the future for her is definitely to move into the directing ranks, and we're hopeful for that very much.
Hi, Jeannie Wolf. You talked about going around the world and hearing people express what they got from the film.
Yes.
How about kids? Because a lot of kids go see this as an entertainment.
Right.
What have you heard from young people about what they've got from the film?
Well, from what I've heard is mostly that they enjoyed the film, that they enjoyed the comedy, that they get the message of bullying that's in the movie and how destructive that can be. But I really think that just like myself, watching movies like this when I was young, I wasn't able to connect the dots like an adult could and say, like, okay, I see this is an allegory for something real in our world. To me, movies like this prepared me for life, that when situations came upon me, I was be able to reflect on those stories that I loved and really made me think and say, like, I believe I am in a situation like Mowgli in the Jungle Book right now, and I need to make a decision. And will it be like the one he made? And what do I think about how he made that decision? So I think for children, for younger people, these stories become preparation, for the life ahead of them, that they're not really seeing, they're not identifying it as much as adults do.
And I think we're very, very mindful of that. I think we're very aware that Disney animated films do influence how people grow up. We all grew up on Disney animated films. The morals and sort of the learning that we got from those films were very important to us. And so I think as we're crafting these films, we're not just thinking of them as entertainment, we're thinking of them as a way to communicate to generations in the future, and also do it in a way that is very open. Like, no matter what your background, no matter what your gender or where you're from in the world, whether it doesn't matter. If you can find yourself in this film, that's a terrific thing.
And I would say one last.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Please
Okay.
finish your.
Oh, I was just going to say one last thing, which is one of the reasons for making Judy Hopps, the female character, the protagonist, was we could also tell a story that shows a character who's being told she can't achieve something, and yet she doesn't let that bring her down. She's just going to push through and persevere and go for that goal of hers. And I think that's one of the things I love about the film is there's many layers within it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The Best Motion Picture in a Foreign Language, L, and Mr. Paul Verhoeven is right here. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, too. Am I supposed to say something?
Answer questions.
Answer questions. Yeah, I'm here to answer questions, okay.
Mr. Verhoeven, Greet from the HFPA from Belgium wanted to congratulate you with the award. She's very happy that her neighbor from Holland won the award. So how do you feel like winning this award? Before the evening you told us we have 20% chance. Now you're here. How do you
It's
feel?
100% now, yeah. But I mean, in all honesty, what I said in my speech is that I was amazed because the movie is a bit controversial and people have been angry. Of course, there had been a lot of positive reviews, but I was astonished that the Foreign Language Association here in Hollywood would really decide for this movie. Yes, I was amazed, and you have here a character played by Isabelle Huppert that is in some way not inviting you to be to sympathize with her. In fact, you were sometimes probably alienated and a bit astonished about her actions. But I think that was perhaps also the reason that people liked it, you know, because it was innovative in that way and was not, didn't have let's say, try to be moral in any way or telling you what to do in life or whatever. It was this woman, this character that was based on what happened to her when she was a young child, was acting the way she did and stepping over this horrible thing that happens in the beginning of the movie, which is the rape. So, but astonishment still, yeah, that we got the prize. Yeah, sure.
Paul, René Bioch hier, recht voor je. Hi.
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 Hi. René, yeah?
Yeah,
Hi.
first question in Dutch and then the second part in English. Als Nederlander sta je hier nu eigenlijk Fransman te zijn, hè? Als met een Franse prijs eigenlijk.
Nou, ik ben een Nederlander die probeert Frans te zijn, maar die alles bekijkt door een Amerikaans filter.
Maar heb je ook een beetje...
Ik ben te lang in Amerika geweest, denk ik, om gewoon helemaal Europees te kijken. Maar het is natuurlijk voor 80% Europees wat ik heb gedaan. Of het Hollands is, dat weet ik niet, maar ik ben Hollander voor 100%.
Jij zou ook graag in Nederland films maken. Dat lukt niet altijd. Is dit een beetje een dikke middelvinger naar Nederland, hoor?
Nou, zo kan je het zien. Daar had ik nog niet aan gedacht, maar zo kan je dat zien. Maar nee, het is zo aardig en leuk dat ik deze prijs heb gekregen, dat ik niet het gevoel heb dat ik dit een wraak is op Nederland of zo, nee.
Last question. Do you consider French nationality now in the future?
No, I think I'm Dutch. Even living 30 years in the United States, I'm still Dutch. And I think making movies in France would be great. I had a great time, wonderful crews and cast, everybody very happy to work together. But that doesn't mean that I can lose my location where I was born, you know. That's not possible. And I don't even try. But if I could work in France, I would immediately do so. Yes, sure, absolutely.
Paul, there's been a lot of commentary over here, or to your right.
Oh, there, so yeah.
There's been a lot of commentary tonight on President-elect Trump and what he means to the country, to America, and to the arts. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, very bad thoughts, yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
No, elaborate in the way that it's scary.
And why? What frightens you the most?
Because we can get with the attitude that he displays with the people that put in positions at this moment in all the different departments. I think that is what you call in German rücksichtslos, and it means that it can easily go into directions that ultimately will end up with war and destruction. So I'm very scared, really, with this presidency. Yeah, sure. I mean, everything can turn out to be different than I think, you know. I certainly hope so. But apparently the last 4 months have not changed my opinion about what this means. No.
Paul, congratulations. It was quite a love declaration to Isabelle Huppert on stage. I was wondering if you could tell me more about this, and if you want to do that in French, please feel free to do it.
No, I do it in English, but well, Isabelle Huppert is absolutely a necessity for this movie. You know that we tried originally to do this movie as an American movie, although it was based on a French novel, and we tried to make it as an American movie, but that didn't work in any way. There was nobody interested in the United States, no talent, no financial people, and whatever. And now, in retrospect, I think that Isabelle Huppert is the only person that could have made this movie work. I think the authenticity of her performance, even if she goes in directions that you would never take in your life, isn't it? Starting a relationship with a rapist in some way, sadomasochistically oriented. I mean, you would not do so easily. And I think that she makes that believable, that you really although perhaps being alienated in some way that she does that, but you always believe that she does that because she wants it, and she is, let's say, authentic to herself. So I think I cannot imagine that anybody else in the world could have done this. I mean, there is, as I said tonight, in the center of it all, I was quoting David Bowie in this Black Star, who says, in the center of it all, your eyes. I would say, in the center of it all, Isabelle's eyes.
Hello here, sir, here in the middle.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Yeah, sure.
So I think you mentioned that some people were like very mad at the movie, but I suppose there's all the people that were like, that enjoy, I don't know if enjoy is the word, but some people that really like the movie. What was the more like extreme thing that you heard from the people that didn't like it at all, and what was the most like positive thing you heard about people that did like it? Because it's a very intense movie, of course.
Yeah, but I think the people that don't like it have, basically, are probably irritated or angry because not so much about the fact that the movie is about rape. American movies have been made about rape. Jodie Foster did one. But it is that the movie is not, let's say, making the rape the center of the movie. The center of the movie is Isabelle Huppert, is the character of Michel Legrand. And then, because that is the case, there is, next to this violence and cruelty that is displayed in the rape, there is also her relationships with people, and these are in some way weird and funny. And I think it's the difficulty for people has been that the aspect of little comedy, or a sort of comédie amour, moral comedy about morals, is taking place next to this horrible thing that happens to her. In fact, twice in the movie that there is a rape and an attempt to rape her. And I think the fact that I didn't keep to genre, that I abandoned genre, and that the genre, that I felt that life is not genre. We don't live genre. We live comedy and tragedy and funniness and hardship every day, every hour, perhaps differently. And I want to make the movie representing life instead of representing a genre, which would have been, of course, if it would have been an American movie, you would say, she finds, in 2/3 of the movie, as it is now, she finds out who the rapist is. The third act would, of course, in an American way, would have been revenge. The third act, she takes revenge. And the movie doesn't do that. The movie goes in another direction, and I think that is really hard for people, for some people, to accept that, if they are focusing only on the rape instead of focusing on the character of this woman that was, of course, traumatized when she was 10 years old, and her character is certainly based on what happened when she was a young girl. And the things she's doing in the movie are based on that character. The character is really displayed from the very beginning of the movie, which starts with the aftermath of the rape, and she cleans up, and she takes a bath, and she orders sushi. That character is already from the beginning, let's say, completely different than what you would expect. And that character is extended throughout the whole movie. So the movie is a character movie and not a thriller or a comedy or this. It's about character.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.